Hi guys. Today, let's discuss some of the major problems guys face when dating middle-aged women. This is especially important for the younger gentlemen who don't know the dynamics of older women. They need to know what an older woman brings to the dating table before going into a relationship with them. As for the older guys, most of them know the issues that come with dating middle-aged women, but they still need to hear this because some of them just forget what older women can be like in a relationship. I'll start by sharing an anecdote of a friend who's having issues with middle-aged women in their 40s and 50s. He is a very successful 50-year-old C-suite executive who earns 7.5 figures annually and has a net worth in the high 8 figures. He is living a very successful life. Let's just say he has everything under control. He is 6 feet tall, drives luxury vehicles, and lives in a great house. He is most likely in the top 1% of men, but he constantly has to deal with middle-aged ladies who take him for granted and bring a lot of baggage with them. As someone who's into engineering, manufacturing, and especially interested in cars, I'll give you an example of using cars. You know that old American muscle cars look great. They look great and have solid firepower for their time. But if you compare them with the latest models, you'll realize that they lack quite a bit in how they drive, the comfort that they have with their old systems and shaky suspension, and they just need quite a bit of maintenance every month to keep them running. And you never know when their engines might just stop working. The same is the case with middle-aged women in their 40s and 50s. They look great post-divorce after they've had their surgeries done to uplift their chests, or have a Brazilian butt lift done, or have their skin infused with some chemical to make them look younger. But if you get into a relationship with them, they bring a lot of baggage with them in the form of children from their previous marriages, in the form of vengeful and vindictive ex-husbands, and expensive maintenance that the guys have to pay for as long as he's dating them. Now, for a guy who's in his 50s or late 40s, who is successful, earns well, lives well, and has no baggage, there's no need for additional drama in his life. Why would a guy like that be with a middle-aged woman and pay for her expensive treatments, and not even have the fun that he can have with younger women? Men tend to forget that while interacting with younger ladies, you don't have to deal with such drama. They haven't experienced that many heartbreaks. They have not been defrauded. You know, there are just so many things that some of these elderly women have faced that they carry around as an emotional roller coaster all their lives. In the SMV, a 45 to 50-year-old male who is top shelf and in the top 1% is significantly more valuable than a 45 to 50-year-old woman because let's face it, most men that age has dealt with most of their issues and don't bring the drama and baggage. Men and women age differently. The peak SMV of a woman is at age 23. Numerous types of research have been conducted on this. Cross-cultural in nature, they've conducted surveys in evolutionary psychological studies numerous times, covering any continent and any culture, anywhere from ages 18 to 70. Every single guy, when given the option to choose from a lineup of 20-year-olds to 70-year-olds, consistently chooses women from the age of 22 to 25 as the most attractive. So I started dating shortly after I got out of my divorce around the age of 39 or 40. I met this attractive single mom. She ticked off some boxes I thought were important at the time. She had a couple of kids in tow from her prior marriage, and she had some serious baggage, as do all women. I dated this woman for a couple of years, and this one time, she had this event that we had to go to. I can't remember what it was, but I was down at her place. I had brought a change of clothes for the event. I know everybody had to come dressed up. Before hopping into the shower, I asked her if she can iron the shirt for me, and she straight up refused. When I asked her why, she told me this long story about how her mother and father had had a lot of issues and that her mother had passed away. At the time, she said her father had been having extramarital affairs constantly. She returned home one day after spending several years roaming the globe while partaking in the activities of women during their hedonistic years. When she returned home, her mother had just passed away, and the new woman was in the house ironing a man's shirt while her father was not seen on the main floor. She vowed to never again iron a man's shirt after that incident as of that day. Now, that's just one of many situations. For some women, hundreds, where women continue to carry this luggage into their later years. As a result, in addition to being older and less attractive, they also have baggage. And I realized that she just wanted me as arm candy. I'm the guy who's got a good solid physique, and I drive a nice car. She basically wanted to tell the world that she was doing great because she was with me, and that all of her previous baggage was in the past. But I could see that baggage on a daily basis. So guys, if you want to settle down, get married, and have children, why would you want to have that with a middle-aged woman who carries so much emotional baggage around her? Why not be with a younger woman? They are both more beautiful and fertile. There is less drama there. They haven't gone through 50 men, nor have they had their hearts shattered. Women just don't seem to be able to comprehend that their value is derived from their purity. You are aware that it basically comes down to this. When women look at a man, they seem more concerned about his future. Does he make money? Does he have a future? And does he have his act together? They are more attracted by his financial capabilities. On the other hand, males absolutely transform once they adopt this philosophy of looking at history. You should be more worried about her past. What sort of baggage does she bring to the table? How many children does she have with various men? What kind of trauma, if any, does she have to deal with? You now have to deal with 72 additional items because she dealt with them for 20 years. You are in a far better position as an older, more experienced guy to date younger, more attractive women who have less baggage and less drama to bring to the table without other men's kids. You're going to be happier with younger women. They're attractive. They carry less emotional drama. They're more adventurous in bed. They tend to be more submissive and more feminine. The issue with it is that when people see a successful older guy with money dating a younger woman, they start saying things like, "Oh, why don't you date someone your own age and grow up and be a man?" The issue is that the majority of guys out there still encounter absurd ideas like, "Maybe I should date someone my own age. I'm divorced and have a few kids from my prior marriage. So why wouldn't I date a woman who's also divorced and has kids from a prior marriage?" Or, "I know kids from many different fathers." In fact, guys will repeatedly make these compromises. But why and what for? Why should guys make their lives miserable with miserable women who don't know what they want to do with their lives when they're in their 40s and 50s? It is true that these kinds of circumstances stretch on and cause confusion and havoc in a gentleman's life. Why on earth would you want to let that into your life? By choosing not to interact with women that disrupt your life and cause upheaval due to their baggage and drama, you can completely avoid a lot of that stress and anxiety. And I understand that there are men who enjoy being with older women, and that's okay with me as long as they know what they're getting into. Like some of these younger guys who have this fantasy about being with cougars and women who are well past their prime. Fine. That's your thing. You know what you want and know where it is. That's great. But the truth is that older women have a lot more baggage that they haven't dealt with. It's almost like every single thing that has happened in their lives, they put it in a sturdy burlap bag that they throw over their shoulders and carry around like it's a badge of honor. My opinion, and it's not just an opinion, it's based on talking to, observing, counseling, and helping dozens of men, and knowing their situations with middle-aged women. It's that middle-aged women are not desirable or exciting to be with. They carry their past with them and bring that into their lives. So you should strive to reach a certain level of maturity where you realize that the practicality of the sort of person you're dating matters a lot. That's it for today. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel.